Now, let's get into the reblog. Okay, so I've got my WordPress website. I've got, and if people are on my website, and this is actually on my website, so this video is embedded right in my website, you can see underneath it I have the Triberr comments box. So you'll see it'll say Triberr, and that's my comments box. So that's part of what's called a plugin on WordPress. So that's kind of something that you can plug into WordPress, adds functionality. So instead of hiring a programmer to create what you want, the folks at Triberr have done that for you. So we install this Triberr plugin, and it allows me some functionality. And the key thing is that I can go into my dashboard, or I can log into Triberr and see the same thing. And I see what's called my tribal stream. And that's all the people that I'm connected to, that I'm in the tribes with or following. And I can then tweet their stuff. I can Facebook their stuff, LinkedIn, Google+, right? I can share, and then of course I can reblog it. And I want to get into this. Reblogging is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen, because somebody writes something that's congruent for my audience.
Yep.
And let's not even talk about me, about how it benefits me at this point, but or benefits me for them reblogging me. But the idea that I'm struggling, man, and this is what I get from a lot of newbie bloggers, and I run into this myself. It's like, oh my God, I got to write something, and then a news story comes on, I got to drop that and do this, and is it good enough? And you're always working. So now I can just kind of kick back, go into Triberr, and see who in my tribe has something that's going to be really good for my audience, and just reblog it. So let's talk about that, what reblogging is from the technical perspective.
Well, you know, I don't, from a technical perspective, it's just a single button. You click reblog and it goes to your WordPress posts as a draft, right? So from a technical perspective, it's kind of, you know, ordinary and boring. But from a kind of systems perspective, right? You know, this stuff has been going on for hundreds of years, right? When Reuters publishes a story, hundreds of newspapers across the world pick it up.
Right.
Right? Huffington Post essentially used the same model, except they reversed it. When a small blog publishes a post, Huffington Post would grab it and syndicate it. Right?
Right.
The problem with this stuff is that you and I, Mike, we don't have a staff of editors and sleuths that are going to go out there and find these posts and figure out if they're fit and then set them up. Because you know how much work it is to, you know, set up a post, create the guest author, right? Get all the links in there for the guest author. It's a nightmare, right? You and I can't do that. So reblog essentially enables us to click a single button and Triberr takes care of everything. It takes content from one blog, puts it on another, so it's essentially, you know, now it's in two places. It takes care of the authorship, so the authorship carries through, right? And then, and this is uniquely Triberr feature, nobody else has this. We have this mirrored comment system. So if the existing post has like 20 comments and you reblog it, you get 20 comments, right? And if somebody leaves a comment here, it's visible here, and vice versa. Right? And now the implications of all of that, to take it to the next level, to something like SEO, are huge, right? If you write a kick-ass post that I want to reblog, right, and as a good practice states, you link to yourself, maybe 1, 2, 3 links to some of your older content, right? Make it relevant and whatnot. So let's say you have 3 links in your post. And I look at your post, I love it, I read it, I think it's congruent with my blog, with my audience, it's appropriate. I click reblog, bam, it's in my drafts, I schedule it or publish it or whatever. And now I have a kick-ass post. The authorship, Mike Brooks, is right there, right? And the comments are right there. But also, your links are right there. So now you have 3 links from my blog pointing back to yours. Right? Now, imagine your post is so kick-ass, 10 bloggers reblog it. Right? That's your post syndicated to 10 blogs with essentially 30 links pointing back to Mike Brooks' blog, Nuclear Chowder blog.
But if you think about it from the perspective, you know, of somebody just starting off with a blog, like imagine getting you to post my blog piece. I mean, even if just you did it, that's a huge audience that I'm exposed to that I would never have been able to be exposed to.
Don't give me that much credit.
No, but you know, for real. I mean, you've got a, number one, you got a huge following, man. People love you, and they read your stuff, and your stuff is great. I don't know how you come out with so much stuff, but that's another interview. But
thank you.
You know, I mean, really, it's amazing. Even if just one person tweets it or one person picks it up, that's the thing I love is it, and it really works. You know, I see it in action, so I get traffic to my blog that I would never get.
Well, that's the thing, right? Triberr works.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing for a lot of people, man, because if you put crap out there, keep in mind, Triberr works.
Yeah.
So people are going to come to your blog, and they're going to find crap, and they're going to see you, and they're going to associate you with crap.
Right.
So don't publish crap.
Right. You gotta be real careful, and it's up to me, right? So I get to know people, and what I like about Triberr is that social element. You know, you're reading a lot of stuff, and you read 2 paragraphs of somebody's thing, and you can tell if they're good or not.
Yep.
If it engages you, and you read through that whole thing without having to feel like you're forced to, then you know it's good content, and you start to kind of segment those people into the ones who you really want to participate with, and you build your social connections with everybody. And you know, making sure that, I mean, from my perspective, you know, I need to make sure I'm not publishing anybody who's going to be poorly, you know, a poor writer, somebody who's my direct competitor. I mean, I don't worry about that as much, but if somebody, if you know, if somebody's trying to poach my audience or is going to be negative to my audience, so you need to get to know these people, which is why I love that Triberr's a community the way it is.